Hi, it's Khalil Halterali, and today what I want to do is I want to take some time to talk about how to invest with other people's money, OPM. So I'm sure you've heard the term if you're just getting into real estate, you've heard a lot about OPM. What is OPM? Everybody's talking about that, right? Well, OPM stands for other people's money. And so when you get into real estate, a lot of people are talking about OPM because people like to be able to leverage their money, meaning they want to make a down payment. Let's say your down payment is about up to about 20% or so. And then they use OPM, other people's money, for that 80%. So when you get into real estate, a lot of people want to leverage other people's money. And so there's many different ways you can go about doing that, or quite a few. And so one of them is actually, and this is the one that I've primarily utilized in my career, but is being able to find opportunities, put together the numbers. So just knowing what are the profits. And then after that, one of my partners is a real estate attorney. And so she prepares a limited partnership. So I'm not giving out legal advice, but this is what I've done in the past with my friend who's a real estate attorney. She puts together a limited partnership. And so from that, the other people that we partner with as far as putting up their funds become limited partners. So they get certain shares. So they'll get shares based upon how much money they invest in the deal. So if they're doing, let's say 5,000, they may get so much percent of shares. Somebody does, 10,000, they'll get so many shares. And so we collect funds until we reach how much money we need for that particular deal. And so that's pretty much a limited partnership using other people's money. And so those people who put up money, those people who put up money, they are actually taking the loss. So if there's no return, then basically whatever the loss is, they also share in the loss. So that's the difference with this type of investing. Sorry for the noise in the background. I'm actually at someone's house and we're getting ready to eat dinner. So the other one is actually getting loans. So there are different people who do provide funds or sources for loans. And so there are people also who put up, like, let's say it's a non-interest type of loan that you can get, where you can get into it. It's similar to a 203K loan. I'm sure everyone's heard of 203K. It works similar to that, where you actually get a loan for the property. There has to be a certain loan to value. So primarily with this one, they want whoever's coming into the loan to put up 20%, and then the rest of the loan is given to you. But the difference with this is that most of the time in those type of situations, you have to be able to front the money. So like there's certain repairs. Let's say, for instance, they come out and determine, okay, this property needs $30,000 worth of work in order for you to be able to flip it on the back end. So they'll have certain repairs that need to be done. And also, too, a lot of times they want you to use a certain contractor. So this is a non-interest bearing product, but still works similar to a 203K, which is the same thing. 203K is a FHA product, but that one is primarily for homeowners, where this one is for people who are also investors. It's a certain product that I'm aware of. And so with this one, again, like they'll want you to have like a contractor go out who's probably approved to be able to do the work, because they want to make sure your contractor is going to be able to come through with the repairs they say they're going to do. So they probably have to be approved. And so let's say, for instance, there's $30,000 that's required for this. You'll have to spend, let's say, $5,000, and then they'll send an inspector out. So the inspector will come out, make sure those repairs are done, and then they'll reimburse you for that $5,000 that you spent. So that's how it works if you're actually using a loan. Even sometimes, like, I don't get so much into hard money. That's something that a lot of people talk about. But hard money has high interest rates, and typically they want to make sure that people have had experience before they're giving out money to do that. So a lot of times, like when you get into real estate, you'll hear when people talk about other people's money, primarily they're talking about hard money. And so the interest rates with those are probably at minimum about 13%. And then the investor, all of these products are short term. So again, even with the one I mentioned before, where it's non-interest bearing, more than likely you probably have to turn a project around within a year. So if you get outside of the terms of that, then you can get in trouble. Or like, let's say, for instance, they may call the loan due. So definitely with these products, you do kind of want to be familiar with what you're doing. So that's primarily for flipping. Or also that product can also be for rentals. But if you're getting into wholesaling, for example, wholesaling doesn't require you to have any loans or anything like that. So with that one, you don't really need to do anything because you're not going to be the one to actually acquire the property. But I'm sure you guys have plenty of questions about other people's money or OPM. So if you have questions, if you don't mind, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and then I can come in and I can answer them. Hi, Ricky. How are you? So if you guys have any questions about OPM, everyone always wants to talk about OPM. Everyone's so curious about it. If you have any questions about it, please go ahead and drop it below, and I'll be sure to answer your question. Let's see. Any questions? Oh, and so one thing I should mention too, when I talked about the interest bearing or like the loan that's similar to a 2 or 3K, typically in those situations, they look at your credit. They're looking at your debt to income ratios. Let's see. And primarily, they'll probably want you to put about 20% down. But that is kind of like more of a traditional route. And the first method that I mentioned to you as far as doing a limited partnership, that's more of a creative route where pretty much you would kind of put all that together after you kind of look at the deal. So once you're looking at the deal, then you can be able to present people. You have to, the way it works, again, I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving legal advice, but the way that one works is that you have to prepare your numbers before you reach out to people to actually get the funds from them. Because in this situation, you're more so just pitching the deal to them. You're not like, if you're not a broker or anything like that, you can't represent yourself as managing other people's funds. All right, Tees. We're talking about other people's money, OPM. If you have any questions about it, we kind of went over everything so far, just two different types. One is the limited partnership. The other one is using kind of like a rehab loan. It's kind of more of a traditional source of funds. If you have any questions, please go ahead and drop it, and I'll be sure to answer your questions.
Oh my God. Oh.
Let's see. Okay, so